Some people say tilapia gets a needlessly bad rep. Others say it's a trash fish that deserves every bit of the hate. Who's right? Here's what you need to know. First off, tilapia is one of the most consumed fish in the world. According to The Healthy Fish, tilapia is the fourth most eaten type of seafood in the United States, with folks chowing down on about 440 million pounds per year, which equates to roughly 1.38 pounds per person. Unsurprisingly, it was beaten out by salmon, shrimp, and tuna, but holds its fourth place spot likely due to its versatility, availability, and cheaper price tag. Tilapia also beat out pollock and cod in the US, so it seems to be the white fish of choice for most Americans. It's easy to cook, freezes well, and can be bought in bulk. Farming tilapia is a massive operation, and the United States imports the vast majority of this fish for consumption. The main exporters of tilapia are China, Egypt, Indonesia, Thailand, and Brazil, with China leading the industry by a huge margin. So is farmed tilapia safe? This is where the waters get murky, in more ways than one. The internet is filled with reports that Chinese tilapia farmers feed their fish manure, aka poop. You can thank Mike Rowe for this one too.
We have about 300,000 tilapia carp in here.
Right.
To get rid of a lot of the particulates.
Particulate poo.
But that was a US-based farm, which later clarified that the tilapia in that clip weren't sold for food. Another source of the rumor is a 2009 USDA report that claimed that some Chinese farmers fed livestock and poultry manure to fish, though as the Washington Post correctly pointed out in a 2016 article, in most cases the manure feeds the growth of algae, which is what the tilapia actually eat. So calling tilapia a poop fish based on that scenario is sort of like calling a manure-fertilized apple a poop fruit. But it's not all roses and sunshine. More worrying was the USDA's conclusion that water quality and chemical pollution was a concern that was difficult to regulate. As they wrote, farm-level problems like unsafe pesticide residues and heavy metal contamination could be more prevalent than indicated by FDA violations. One of the lesser-known facts about tilapia is that their skin has medical uses. According to Scientific American, doctors in Brazil have recently begun turning to tilapia skin to help in the treatment of second- and third-degree burn victims. Doctors began experimenting with the scaly skin of the white fish, which can be placed on the area of injury and left on after being sterilized, unlike gauze and bandages, which must be constantly changed.
And have found it promotes healing, helps control pain, and reduces the need for costly antibiotics.
The novel technique hasn't made its way to first-world countries, for humans at least, but in 2020, veterinarians in Omaha, Nebraska successfully used tilapia skins to heal a cat that had suffered severe burns. When it comes to health benefits, tilapia is a pretty good choice, as is most seafood. Despite being a very low-calorie fish, tilapia packs a good amount of protein, about 26 grams in a 3.5-ounce serving. Tilapia also has a good profile of vitamins and minerals that can help your body operate at its best. Tilapia has high levels of selenium, B12, niacin, phosphorus, and potassium. B12 is known to help with cognitive function, aiding our brains with memory and helping to stave off age-related decline. Phosphorus is an agent that helps our bones retain their strength, much like calcium, and tilapia has about 20% of the recommended daily intake. Selenium abounds in tilapia. A 3.5-ounce serving of the fish contains as much as 78% of your recommended daily intake. Selenium gives our immune systems a boost and helps protect cells from damage. None of these will cover all your recommended intake, but nutritionally speaking, variety is the spice of life anyway. Pair it with some good nutritious sides and you can count on a balanced, flavorful meal. It's also important to note that tilapia doesn't sport the high levels of omega-3 fatty acids found in other fish. In fact, it has about 10 times less than a piece of salmon. If you find yourself turning to wrinkle creams and Botox for smooth skin, try reaching for tilapia instead. In the constant fight against aging, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals all play a part, as do the foods we eat. And tilapia is one of the foods you should look into adding to your weeknight meal rotation if you simply can't bear to spend another $50 on eye cream. Tilapia has a variety of minerals that can help with skin elasticity and aid in activating other vitamins. All that selenium we just talked about helps to turn on the vitamin E and vitamin C in our bodies, which can help in battling free radicals and aid in the brightness and health of skin. Additionally, tilapia is rich in collagen, which can up our skin's moisture and add thickness to our skin, making it better able to battle signs of aging. That's not to say that eating tilapia alone will suddenly take years off your appearance. Exercise and a varied diet are more important than any single type of food, but it's definitely something to consider adding to the mix. Mercury is an inescapable buzzword whenever seafood is mentioned, and not without reason. Higher levels of exposure to mercury can lead to health issues such as nervous system damage, kidney damage, liver damage, and immune system damage. Pregnant women are especially at risk since the damage can be passed to a developing fetus, where it can affect the brain and nervous system as it develops. Fish mainly absorb mercury after it's been created in the atmosphere via industrial practices and coal-burning plants. It makes its way into water supplies where it's absorbed by sea life. In the ocean, bioaccumulation is the big problem. Any fish that eats another fish also consumes the mercury content of that fish. It builds up over time, which is why large, long-lived predatory fish like tuna and swordfish are often highest on the mercury watch-out list. They spend a lot more time accumulating mercury than smaller sea life.
Now, the CDC says that actually most fish have some form of methylmercury in them.
Right.
Fortunately, tilapia typically have a much lower mercury content than wild-caught seafood. They're omnivores, and a lot of their diet consists of plants or, in the case of farmed fish, processed feed. Either way, their meals haven't built up mercury through a life spent swimming in the ocean, and since the majority of them are farmed in closed ponds and lakes, their water supply is usually isolated from larger, contaminated ecosystems. That's not always a benefit, but at least in terms of mercury, it's a big green checkmark. Even if you don't think you've ever tasted tilapia, chances are if you eat a lot of other fish, you have.
You could be the victim of a fish switcheroo.
According to CNN, fish fraud is fairly common at grocery stores, fish markets, and even restaurants. For example, consumers may think they're ordering or buying something like sea bass or snapper, which often commands a fairly hefty price. Those conducting the tests found that 55% of the time, sea bass was mislabeled, and about 42% of the time, snapper was mislabeled, with many of these incidents seeing fish like tilapia, Dover sole, and even perch subbed in for the more expensive white fish. Oceana also reported that tilapia has been subbed in for cod, both Atlantic and Pacific varieties. If you're a little nervous now about your seafood being mislabeled, large chain grocery stores seem to be some of the most trustworthy. So there's yet another excuse to eat at home, up your culinary prowess, and whip up something at your own kitchen stove instead of eating out. You may have heard tilapia referred to as a genetically modified frankenfish, that it's boneless, skinless, pumped full of chemicals, and doesn't even exist in the wild. To put it plainly, that's not true. According to Lakeway Tilapia, at no time has the U.S. government approved a genetically modified tilapia for sale to the public. There are absolutely no genetically modified tilapia being farmed for human consumption in the U.S. There are, however, genetically improved farmed tilapia that have been bred to have more desirable traits. They mature faster and grow larger, but that's been achieved through selective breeding, not genetic modification. So again, if you see claims that tilapia are boneless, skinless, GMO frankenfish hatched by scientists, you can safely disregard them. With roots in the Middle East and Mediterranean, tilapia can be found referenced in antiquity, from walls of the pharaohs' tombs to the Bible. According to Electra magazine, the ancient Egyptians actually farmed tilapia in large cordoned-off ponds, much like we do today, making it one of the first cultivated fish. Additionally, the ancient Egyptians prized tilapia for their perceived powers over fertility, which could be related to female tilapia holding their young in their mouths, a symbol of rebirth to the ancients. The Egyptians even gave tilapia their own hieroglyph, and numerous amulets and charms have been found depicting tilapia. Pregnant women in ancient Egypt have been found too, with tilapia amulets close by. It is also widely believed that tilapia may have been the fish portrayed in the Bible as the one multiplied for the crowds by Jesus during his sermon. Regardless of what you believe, it's easy to see that tilapia has been an important part of the human eating experience for millennia. In the end, tilapia is incredibly versatile. This mild white fish is easy to cook and comes together quickly, making it a savior on busy weeknights and for those less inclined to know their way around the kitchen. Like chicken, tilapia easily adapts to whatever seasoning or treatment you throw at it. It's no wonder, then, that it's incredibly popular in eateries and restaurants looking to easily scale up recipes while keeping food costs low. You can spend more money on good ingredients to enhance the taste of the fish without worrying about ruining the flavor. Then again, some people find the taste bland no matter what they do to it. It's just one of those things that comes down to personal preference.
By the way, Kirsten is totally done with tilapia.
Done with it. Cooked it last night. Tastes terrible.